The definitive Lumian Legacy tier list. Okay, I'm not using all of these. I'm ranking these based on PvP. I'll just choose no, I'll just choose the base form. I was gonna choose the one I like the most. Like of these, I choose this one. Turquoise is my favorite color. So let's start with Avatros is the first one. Lots of people have been crapping on Avatros. I don't think it's as bad as they say. But yeah, I do think it's really bad. So Avatros's issues, it can't touch Tyrex. It learns driving force, but it can't fit it. If it drops Brawn Boost or Perch, it's just useless anyways. It has a lot of issues. Borok. I feel like Borok is a solid Lumian. I think B plus. I might move it up later. I'll use both of the Boroks. Why not? I like both of them. Next, Chartiki. I think Chartiki is an A, B plus or A minus. I do think it's definitely better than Borok. But in the current meta, it's not too bad. It's a little bit hard to use sometimes. Cinemoth is D. I've swept people with Cinemoth before, pro players, but I think it's safe. Safe to put it there. Iguana, after getting Mudslide, that was a pretty good buff. I think B for now. It's quite a reliable range wall, but there are better options. So for now, Eruptodon, it's getting its ugly Soul Burst. I think no, not A minus. I think it's worse than Borok. Is it worse than Iguana? Not really. For now, I guess. I know people like Eruptodon. I like it, but I don't know. I don't think it's super good. Valkyrie, I despise, and I also don't think it's very good. I'm gonna be honest. I think it's worse than Borok. Probably a hot take, and it's probably gonna be controversial. Festifer, I think I feel like I feel like Avatros is better than Festifer. I feel. I think it's better. If you want to know Festifer's issues, slow, awful typing. Gasstroke got some nice buffs. I think Gasstroke's a C plus. It's gotten better. Remember when it was the worst Lumian? I can't speak. I got home from a lot of examinations over the week. Sorry. I don't have time to make videos. I have exams to study for. Himber. Himber's an A minus. Is it better than Chartiki? Despite Himber being actually OU, I'm not sure. Oh, by the way, guys, OU is standard play. UU is the tier below OU for like Lumians that don't get used enough and fall to UU. And then below that is NU, same premise. And then Ubers is, Ubers. Krakaloa is. I really enjoy using Krakaloa. I put it in B. However, I think people would disagree, so I'll put in B minus for now. I think it's good though. I like Krakaloa. It's pretty fun to use. Luminami, what a good Lumian. It's really reliable. That's the thing. It's so easy to use, really reliable. You can use it very easily. I'm sure people like it. And also, I missed out Florant. Worst Lumian, hands down. Obsidragon. I don't know if Obsidragon is S tier. I'm honestly tempted to put in A plus, but after playing in all the draft leagues where I've done 4 draft league battles, round 1 of the LPL, round 2, round 3, and then the KML, and then also the SMC. I don't believe the SMC had Obsidragon. Maybe it did. But I fought so many Obsidragon that they were all pretty impactful. So I'll put that up here with Luminami. I think Luminami is better though. Might be a hot take. I know a lot of people really struggle with Obsidragon. It's not super hard to deal with. Trust me. I do not think Luxor is good. I think it's D. Better than Cinnamon, but it's bad. Ragoon. No, Raccoon. I'm really not familiar with Ragoon, so I'll just leave it here. I know it's not good. It's probably one of the Lumians I fought the absolute least. Revenine. I think Revenine is solid. A lot of people don't think it's super good. I think it's better than Borak. I don't know. I think it's better than Borak. It's been really useful for me. Can be very difficult to use sometimes, but I think it's good. Sear Knight. I think Sear Knight is I believe CNI is on the cusp of dropping to UU. I believe it is officially OU though, but by usage and also somewhat viability. Is it better than Revenine? I'll say it is. It's got a lot of buffs recently. I'll put it there. I haven't really got to mess around with the buffs too much. I don't really like Drudge or Bulk Up. I just like using Barbs. Sunny Mars is a good range wall. Might move it to A plus, might move it down to A minus, but it's a good range wall. I think A is a solid tier for it. Shachi, you, you're very much, you're very difficult to use. I'll put you in B plus. Might drop it though. Might drop it. It's not super reliable or consistent. Sumobito. Lots of people don't think Sumobito is good. You know what? Because Sumobito's in the same boat as Krakaloa, I'll put it there, but a little higher. I don't know. Maybe they're about the same, I say. Swalder's a solid Lumia. Where did I drop it? I dropped it by accident. There it is. I think it's more consistent than Shachi. I think a B plus is solid. Some people might disagree. I think Swalder can fit there. Tatap is a very powerful Lumion. I think A plus is okay for it. Obsidragon is definitely quite the counter. But hey, its job is a cleaner. You need to get rid of Obsidragon before Tatap just kills everyone. Or at least it should kill everyone. Terraclaw has so many issues. So many. It's very much overrated. I see lots of people just saying Terraclaw's broken. Terraclaw's incredible. And while it can be incredible, it just has so many issues. I do deem it. Is it better than El Iguana? Because El Iguana got buffed. B minus. That might be a bit harsh. That might be harsh. Terrafly, I like Terrafly, but no. Maybe it's better than Ragoon. Ragoon at least has utility. Declips. Declips is a very good Lumion. I'm sure all of us know this. It is a very good Lumion. It's very solid, very reliable. It has good everything. Good bulk, good stats, good enough move pool. Like all of its stats are good. Bulk, power, and speed are all good. Ability is broken. Moves are good enough. It's a little lacking, but nothing too egregious. And then, yeah, it's just really reliable. Wow. Eclipse, what a monster. Really hard count as Vesperatu, which we're getting close to. Yursnak. Yursnak is a very good pivot. Yursnak is a very good Lumion. But I'm not very sure what to put it, because first, not many people have it, because it's not very easy to get. And second, I think I'll put it at the top of A minus. For now. Again, we might change things up later. Yorsol is a very strong Lumion. I think I'll put it here. Now, I feel like it's... We dropped Yorsol from Ubers to OU because the meta was too offensive, according to them. Ugh. Everything I see is just balance. Quite literally, every top player is just spamming balance. Obsidragon, Pyrolan, Luminami, Senimars, all that stuff. Yorsol, but to counter the offense of Gargolem Attack and Deladrix, which, by the way, Gargolem Attack and Deladrix aren't exactly that amazing. Deladrix is good, but it's not that broken that we need to release. It's not like Gen 5 where we had to release Excadrill because Ryu Nicholas was going to kill everyone and get banned. Ventation is, I'm sorry, buddy. I use a Ventation on my playthrough. I'll put it above Gastroke, but even that might be generous. Which is saying a lot. Vesperatu, you are a very good Lumion. I personally like it more than Setting Mars. I like it more than Yorsol, but Yorsol's probably better. I think they're close. They're probably close. I don't see many Vesperatu, which is weird. I feel like it should be more common. Yorsol I see a good amount. Volcaloa. Volcaloa is an interesting Lumion. Really, really difficult to use. Definitely worse than the Reptidon. Probably worse than Laguana. I think it's worse than Terraclaw. Maybe it's not so bad. I think it's just hard to use. I'm being a little mean. Waka Laka. That is the gleaming one. That is the gleaming Waka Laka. Waka Laka. Hmm. You are a. Hmm. I genuinely think it's worse than Avatros. By the way, if any of you disagree, first off, these are my opinions. But second, I mean, I haven't played in a while, so I'm. And by a little while, I mean 2 days, which for my standard is 17 years. It's been so long. I do want to go back to playing, but I still have to study later. Wiki wiki. On the cusp of F. Zulong. And yes, you might be wondering, oh, but you have the time to do this. I yeah, I guess I could be spending this time. Zulong, you're gonna go into. I honestly think Zulong has really fallen off. I really like Zulong. It's fun to use. But I do think it's fallen off a bit, at least a little bit. I think A minus is where it belongs. A very solid tier. Zulong, a solid OU with issues, but it's solid. Arapago, I do not know anything about Arapago's viability. I just know it is not common for a reason. But I do think it's not that bad. I'll put it at the bottom of B minus, just because I'm not super familiar with it. Barblast. Barblast is going in S minus, not F. Actually, I didn't put an S minus. Where did I drop it? I dropped the Barblast by accident. There you are. You're going in S. I'll put you at the bottom of S, but you're definitely S. It might be above. In my opinion, it's above Obsidian. In my heart, Obsidian is an A plus. In my heart. But I feel like everyone will crucify me if I do that, so fine. Dyborg, I think Dyborg is genuinely one of the worst Loomians in the game. Heck, screw it. Probably incorrect, but whatever. Garbantus? I think Garbantus is fine. I always thought Garbantus as a B plus Loomian. And looking at the ranking I have now, yeah, I think it's very much a B plus Loomian. It might be at the top of B plus. Is it better than Revenine? Heck yeah. It's probably better than Cyrano, but Cyrano has a lot of buffs, so I don't know. I don't know. Gardrone, you, my friend, I like you. I used you on my playthrough. You took 5 hours to get as a 10-year-old. Or 11. I don't remember how old I was. I just remember spending 5 hours in the middle of the night just hunting for a quantum core. And then the other day, I killed one Scorb randomly and got a quantum core by accident. Accidental quantum core. Why? Anyways, Gardrone, I do not know where to put you. I definitely feel like B minus or C plus is where Gardrone goes, but I don't think it's that bad. I'll put it above Arapago. I think Gardrone's interesting. I have a thing called the Four Horsemen of Giga Sweepers. Gardrone, Mocho, Avatros, and Whippledrift. Now, if you guys hate Avatros so much that you don't want it there, you can put Sherbot there. It's basically Mocho. By the way, I also missed out Blotox and Dorigo. Blotox, it's very outclassed by Barblast, which is unfortunate. It dominates the UU tier just because there's no Barblast there. So it's the UU Barblast. However, in OU, where Barblast does exist, it's kind of outclassed and doesn't really have a niche besides its speed and being a melee attacker. So it has to lean into its offense, which is not effective. In its own right, Blotox isn't bad at all. It's a very reliable Loomian. But Barblast is just better, which is unfortunate. I like both. I love both. Barblast is my third favorite Loomian. And I really like Blotox. They're fun. Gobbydemic, lots of people just use it as a hyper-offensive barb setter, which is a good strategy. It's a good strategy. It's very effective. Can reliably get 2 layers of barbs, and if you play well, you can... people will generally lead an anti-lead against it, which I just tend to randomly have, such as a Loomian that can bring Gobbydemic down to the clutch plushie and kill it with priority, such as Himber or something. But if you play well, you can switch out against the Quick Punch and start threatening them with whatever you switched in. So I think Gobby, I'd say down here, it might be lower, just because it's really only a barb set. It doesn't do much else. I personally use it offensively, but we don't discuss that just because I feel like people might be watching this and be bullying me about it. Hunter's really fallen off. A lot of stuff has happened to Hunter. It might be worse than El Iguana now, but that might be a little much. It might be worse than Terraclaw, but I don't think it's a B minus. I'll put it in B. I can't believe I put Valkyrie so high. I got a lower Valkyrie. I don't like Valkyrie. I don't think it's good. Icicle? I feel like Icicle's been pretty solid. By usage, in some places, some people consider it an OU Loomian. I don't think it's OU, but I definitely think it's done significantly better. You can go in B+. You're quite good now. Shout out to Icicle for becoming so good now. It's not amazing, but it's definitely been buffed. I'm sorry, Infernix. I like you. It's definitely easily my favorite fossil. It looks very cool. And I know I'm not the only one that thinks that. But unfortunately, I don't think it's better. I don't think it's better than frickin' Gardrone. Did I miss some Loomians? I feel like I definitely missed some Loomians. I definitely missed something, but we'll have to find those later. We'll find them later. I guess. Joltooth, my least favorite fossil. The people keep telling me that they like it. I'm talking about design-wise. Using Joltooth is actually quite fun. It's hard to use, but it's very fun. I think Joltooth's viability is very similar to Cannabo. Joltooth and Cannabo, they're melee attackers that can break through Obsidragon in the right circumstance. Joltooth has the advantage of handling Bar Blast, while Cannabo has the advantage of 1 speed. And honestly, Joltooth might be better. I might have talked myself into liking Joltooth more competitively. I'll put it not at the top of B+. It's too hard to use. It's too difficult to use. It's not very consistent. It's the it's the furthest thing from consistent, but it's strong. Marowmark I think is solid. I've used it a lot in the tournament just because it's a very reliable range wall. So I'll put it at the top of B. The top of B sounds nice. Meditoad, despite being canonically an A minus OU, like somewhere around here, I have not fought Meditoad at all. When was the last time I fought a Meditoad? Or when was the last time I was at all threatened by a Meditoad? I cannot think of many times where I fought Meditoad, and I'm sure you guys can agree with me. I don't use Meditoad much, but the only reason is because I don't like doubling up on types, and I always bring Phage Knot, so it's difficult to use Meditoad. The only exception is water, because there's so many water types that I really like. Loomian Legacy definitely has a little too many water types, I'd say. You can remove some. The addition of Fiscarna, while I like Fiscarna, I don't think it needed to exist. Mewtune, it's not good. Is it worse than Ventation? It might be worse than Gastroke. I don't know. If it's wrong, let me know. I'm not familiar with Mewtune. When was the last time I fought a Mewtune? Oh, I completely forgot about Dorgo again. I'm very sorry, Dorgo. Dorgo got some enormous buffs, so it definitely... I used to hate Dorgo for being just the worst Garbodemic. And good at nothing else. All those Ace Wrestler strats, it doesn't hit that hard even with Ace. And it's still slower than something. It's not good enough. But now with Draco Beam, now Dorgo under the right circumstance can be very dangerous. Is it A minus? I don't think it's A minus, but I think it's good now. I'll put it here, but it might be higher. Also, I think I should lower Seer Knight. But again, Seer Knight got all those buffs, but whatever. We'll lower Seer Knight. Who's next? Next up is Muntwheel. I love Muntwheel. The specialization set specifically. I also like its design. It's not crazy, but Trash Compactor, interesting. I think it's definitely better than Gardrone. I'll put it here. In my heart, it's higher. But I know, in reality, I don't think it's that good. Faraglyph, I really don't see often at all. And it's not that bad. I think Faraglyph goes over here. Yeah, it's really not that bad. It's strong, it's fast, it's versatile, it's unpredictable. So if used well, I guess it might be hard to use. But hey, it's strong. Skellic isn't the worst thing, honestly. It really isn't the worst. I'll put Skellic here. No, I think it's better than Volcaloa. I think Skellig is better. I think. Stratosaur is a very good Lumian. Alright, there's our next top tier OU. Well, another one of those balance staples that everyone is using. I think it's better than Eclipse. But only from my personal usage. Also, I'm lowering top tab down here. No. We're lowering top tab. I think Stratosaur goes up there. In the top of A+. It's very splashable. I've always wanted to... I always use... Every team that I keep building in my head, Stratosaur would be a great fit, but I just don't add it because I want to avoid using... I want to avoid using all those staples as much as possible. That's why I don't use Obsidragon. As much as it would fit well, but it's boring. Trumbull... Sorry, buddy, you're too slow. Okay, you're better than that. You're better than that. I'm sure everyone's going to tell me it's better than Montreal. No, it's not. Tyrex. Tyrex is another one of those. I do think it's fallen off. I've received some comments saying that Tyrex has fallen off. And it definitely fell off a little bit. If I was making this list a while back, I might have put it in S. But it's definitely fallen off. It used to be one of my least favorite Lumians alongside Eclipse for how annoying it was. Now, it's still annoying, but it's more tolerable. It's good. It's more just a good Lumian. Even I enjoy using it sometimes. Manfino, I adore offensive Manfino. But if we're talking about the Sap Planter, screw it. But I'll rank it by its offensive merit. Sap Plant does not exist. If you use the Sap Plant one, who are you? Unsubscribe now. Okay, please don't unsubscribe. If anything, subscribe. I don't do this very often. I don't know. It's gotta be worse than Terraclaw, right? I like Manfino. I really do. I plan to use it again soon. Maybe I'll showcase it. Boonery is a really weird Lumian. It's really weird. I'll put it here, but maybe it should be higher. Like I said, it's really weird. Sarvolan. I feel like Sarvolan is a little underrated. Also, I missed out Buzzlin. Oops. But Sarvolan, I think it's quite okay. Underrated for sure. I don't think it's good, but it hits so hard sometimes. Seriously, I got a boost against a Himber one time. And I just swept them. Buzzlin, I don't think... I genuinely think Buzzlin is worse than Surfalin. I think Buzzlin is... Now, people will bully me for the Montreal thing, but it's worse than Krakaloa. Ha! I'm gonna get so many comments telling me oh, you're washed, you're trash. Colossotrops. A lot of people love Colossotrops. I'm gonna be honest, I don't see the appeal, but I'll put it here. First off, I don't like the design. It looks off. I would have done it a little differently. But second, competitively speaking, it still gets outsped by stuff. Its typing isn't great. And while strong genuinely I do not think it's strong enough sometimes. It can be dangerous though. I do think by usage it's definitely risen to OU at this point. At this point, it's an OU. Deladrix has been an OU for a while. If I was making this tier a while ago, I'd put Deladrix up here. However, in the present day, I'm not going to be so biased. Deladrix, I'll put in A. The prominence of Ursul kind of hurts it a little bit. It's very prediction reliant, which fits my style perfectly. I am a very aggressive player. But Deladrix, yeah, it can be hard to use. Not super consistent. No, it's very consistent. Never mind. Who am I kidding? Why do I keep using it then? Garlash? Garlash I think is strong. It struggles a lot with Obsidragon and Barblast, but besides that, it's very, very strong. I think Garlash is genuinely an A-tier Lumian. But since we're talking about this, I'll put it at the very top of B+. Better than Garbantis. Which is crazy to say. Garbantis has always been a solid Lumian. It's also probably the most controversial Lumian. People either despise Garbantis, or they're fine with it. I'm one of those people that are fine with it. But I know some people that hate Garbantis. It's just funny. Why? It's just Garbantis. It's a solid Lumian. Harva? Harva's been very difficult for me to use recently, which is unfortunate. I like Harva. But I genuinely have to put it here and maybe even lower. So that's kind of unfortunate. Also, screw you. Harva, I, it doesn't heal unless it uses Parasitize. Life Force keeps taking away its health. And it's supposed to stick around to answer Tatab and whatever, but it can't do that when the opponent's got Luminami and Obsidragon, Barblast, Stratosaur. The meta's not favorable to it. Its usage has fallen steep. Like, really steep. Okay, next up, Hoganosh. No, that's the alpha. What am I doing? Hoganosh. Lots of people like it, and they've been trying to convince me it's good, but honestly, I don't really think so. I'll put it around the same tier as Crackalova. Kind of makes sense to me. They're both bulky burn up Lumians. Volcal, except Crackalova is more consistent, and Hoganosh is stronger. Did I miss Oxydrake? I feel like I saw Oxydrake somewhere higher up here. Did I miss Oxydrake? No, Oxydrake is down here. Okay, we got a few more Lumens to go then. Cannabo, you, my friend, are around the same tier as Joltooth. Except, I think, a little better. A little better, personally. I know a lot of people would put Joltooth higher, but I think I like Cannabo more. The speed. The speed. It's important. Carolyn. I personally really like Carolyn solely because not a single time have I ever missed it. I don't use Carolyn often, but when I use it, I have never missed. Not once. If anything, I crit. So Carolyn, it is one of the least consistent Lumians out there. But it is very strong. I'll put it, oh, B minus. That feels too low for it. No. You're better than that. Oh, here. People might disagree. I will say, Carolyn's usage is one of those Lumians where I genuinely just don't see it ever. And it's probably why people forget it exists. Lumello, I honestly really like Lumello. I honestly think it's here. Or here. But I know I'll get crucified, so I'll put it at the bottom of B, but above Valkyrie. I show no remorse. What's next? Lyricat? Lyricat. Yeah, Lyricat's next. I like Lyricat. It's been fun. But I think it's about the same as Mewtwo, except a little better. Like, very, very little. They're both bad. Next up is Moko. I'll just use the one I have 3 of. I have 5 different PvP Mocho. But I have 3 of the white one, and 1 of each of the others. Mocho, I think, is it's hard to use, but it's interesting. I think Mocho is good for the meta. I think it's good for us to have a nice little Giga Sweeper. I usually don't like Giga Sweepers, but Mocho I think works as one. I'll put it above Raptidon. Yeah, I'll put it above Raptidon. Oxydrake. Oxydrake is interesting. Remember when it was broken? Long ago. Nowadays, it's really not common. But I do think it's a B+. I think Oxydrake can go around the bottom of B+. I'd say it's around Swolder. Swolder is pretty nice. Oh, now we get the Pyrolin. Pyrolin's in S tier. I don't like Pyrolin, and using it is extremely boring. But it's really consistent and reliable and good. So Pyrolin can go there. That's where it belongs. Snagoop? I also missed out Samarine. Whoops. Snagoop is good. Don't care what anyone says. It's better than Colossotrops. Nah. Himber's better. I'm putting in A minus. I know in reality it's probably a B or B plus, but I wanted an A minus. I just want her at A minus. I always say her just because to me it looks like a her. It could be a male Snagoop. Honestly, Snagoop probably looks more male to most people. Samarine. If this was made a while ago, I put it in here, somewhere around here. But after using it, I do see the power. I do think Samarine is good. I believe it's also OU, so hey, good for it. I'll put it. Honestly, I think it's. Honestly, I never thought I'd do this. I'm gonna put Samarine over here. Kind of ridiculous, but I think it's strong. I think it's strong and good. You don't have to save it for the end game. You can just use it mid game if you want and do some damage with it. It's not. It's not orthodox, but hey, I think it could work. Spreezy? When was the last time I fought a Spreezy? I love Spreezy, but I'm sorry, Spreezy. You're below Munchwheel. I love Spreezy though. I love Spreezy. Next up, we will be doing Taoshinu, or should we do Odasho? You can go in. Odasho's definitely better than Spreezy, but how much better? Here, it might be a little higher. Odasho, I think, is reliable. A lot of people misuse it. Whenever I go into battles and people have Odasho, they just don't know how to use it right. They stay in against Snagoop. What's wrong with them? Taoshinu, I frankly think it's worse than Lyricat, but it's used a lot more. I'll put it in here over Trumbull. It's not good. Really not good. I don't know what its redeeming quality is. Tsukame though. Tsukame is the Lumian that outclasses Ventation. And honestly, I think it's a solid Lumian. I don't think it's too bad. It's very low in usage and might even be NU by usage. But hey, I think it's solid in terms of actual viability. Using it's fun, it's consistent, it does good work, and it's much stronger than I always remember. I always think of it as a passive wall, unless I'm Bodhi Crash. I just want to say that. I never noticed how cool Gamma. Confession. A lot of the Lumians here, I've never seen the Gammas of, and a lot of them are cool. I just saw Tundraland's one. It's kind of wild. Speaking of Tundraland, you, my friend, are entirely outclassed by Obsidragon. What are its redeeming qualities? Ice Stab, Ice Typing, which is still weak to Metal. It doesn't get one shot by Zulong or something. Or an Anticlips. And even then, Obsidragon can take one hit usually. Like in its own right, Tundraland's not an awful Lumian. But it's just outclassed by Obsidragon. It should be lower than this, but I'm ranking Tundraland by its own merits. So B plus or higher. But in terms of usage, it's UU. How good is it, UU? I forgot how good it was in there. Venolin. Lots of stuff has happened with Venolin. A lot of people have told me how bad it is. But it's consistent. I think it's good. I think it's better than Sedimars, personally. I don't think it's better than Deladrix, though. I'll put it here. Lots of people... Really, I think Venolin's a solid Lumian. And not because I get walled by it all the time, because my team is all range attackers every time. I think Venolin's solid. Like, really solid. I don't know why people hate it so much, sometimes. Wendolin, I think, is interesting. Now, again, for its own merits, it's a very strong Lumian that gets countered by Obsidragon. Wow, that's familiar. But hey, I can put it at a... Better than Joltooth, better than... No, here should be okay. I think. Could be a little wrong, but I think that's not a whole... I'm not super far, at least. Oh, this is a weird one. I think Whipple should be a B or B+. Let's look. Around Mocho's viability, I think it might be better than Mocho if used correctly. If you use it correctly, Whipple Drift is probably around here. Has a lot of potential. I am not one of those people that can use Whipple Drift. But hey, I'm acknowledging it. I remember when Wintrix used to be considered broken. Nowadays, I think Wintrix is definitely a good Lumian. Around the A- tier. I think it can go... Ooh. Why I'm really putting it low. The amount of Pyrolin I fight just kind of invalidates it. Wrestling. Wrestling, you are a okay wall breaker with some fun gimmicky sets that can break up Citragon, but you have more issues than just Citragon, so it's not super good. I always viewed it as around a B tier, so that's where I'll put it. I did not mean to do that. Oops. I think this is fair for wrestling. Am I recording this correctly? It would have been really funny if this entire video I was just recording it wrongly and I just wasted all my time. Zeppelin, I think is, I used to think it was A minus. Nowadays, I think it around B plus. Definitely one of the better Vari evolutions, but not an amazing one. I think it's a little better than Dorigo. I just don't really use Dorigo, so I don't know. Ooh, you're a good. This is a good one. Barbadger. Jesus. A lot of people hate Barbadger. I don't. I think it's a good design. This is a sign that the more recent Loomians are infinitely better designed than the older ones. Seriously. 5 of the starters are humanoid and look like League of Legends characters. That is one of my least favorite games of all time. I think it's better than... I think it's similar to Deladrix, but I think it's viable. No. Well, here. I'll put it here. I think that's fine. That's competition. So... Rip. Ooh, Billowforge. Ah, this is a sad one. Really interesting Loomian. But not a very good one. Not particularly good. There's our first trash one in a while. Not complete trash, but it's not very good. Boneki. I know your face loves Boneki. I think I understand his argument, but it's not amazing. I'll be nice to I Eat and put it above Hunder. Saying that out loud sounds ridiculous, just because I'm still having flashbacks of the days when Hunder was good. This is fan service. I don't actually think it's an S plus. I think Charonix is an A plus or an S. It's one of the most common Loomians, one of the most hated, that's for sure. Unless you're a Charonix user yourself, in which I understand. Hang on, give me a little second. Row above. Why am I coughing so much? I think I've been doing this for too long, and we're not even... Okay, that's daunting. Jesus Christ, what am I okay? Dragodine. Dragodine is... I never thought of it as an Uber. I remember it got banned. I never thought it shouldn't have been there. I think it's good. I think Dragodine is just good. Even after the nerf, I think the viability is basically the same as before. Though people think it's good. Fiscarna, I always view Fiscarna as an A minus, so we'll put it there. Honestly, it might be at the top. I think it's better than all of these. Yeah, no, I'm putting Fiscarna there. It's really good. Up another. Man. You, my friend. One of the most common Loomians, similar to Charonix. Very strong, but I don't think S. I think here. I think you're here. I think that's a good place to put Halvantic. Very good, very common, very useful. It's good. I used to love Halvantic, using it. I still love it. but I just haven't used it in a while. Holly Bunches. Sakaza would say Uber. I don't think it's anywhere near that place. I'm gonna put Holly Bunch in with the voice crack over here. No, we'll put it here. Little higher. I'm being very generous with where I put Holly Bunches now. I just don't need too many comments, okay? Imperior, I use it all the time. I think it's a solid Loomian. Personally, I put it here. A lot of people tell me it's unfair, which is a little ridiculous, but I think I know what I mean. Sea Drake, honestly, Sea Drake not good. No, it's not good. It has a lot of issues. I saw a tier list just now that put Sea Drake in Ubers, and I genuinely laughed out of my chair and fell on the floor. Genuinely. So, I don't think it's good. It has a lot of problems. It's not immediately super strong. Stronger than Obsidragon. Very vulnerable, very prediction reliant. It can never break Obsidragon. Even then, there's things like Tyrolin. I think at this point we should just expect. I think I tasted blood just now. I hope it wasn't blood. I'll be surprised if anyone's watching the video up to this point. Hopefully I'm just being your background noise and you're just randomly being like, dude, can you stop that? I'm trying to play my game while I watch your video. And by watch, I mean have its background noise. Although those who actually do watch up to this point, thank you. Like the video. I still don't know how to do those things. Akalos has a lot of buffs. It can now break Luminami, which is really, really good. Obsidragon, it's still not amazing against it, but it's better than other melee attackers. I think it's a pretty solid Loomian after all these buffs. I think there's a fine place to put it. Akalos got some buffs. It's also my favorite roamer by far. Okay, not by far. But it's definitely my favorite. Okay, maybe it is by far. Sherbot? Sherbot, I have no idea where to put it. I have zero idea where to put it. Should I just put it with Mocho? No, it's worse than Mocho. Here? I don't know. I've never seen people use it. The ones I do are all chill. Celesting. A lot of people. That's the wrong Celesting. Wow. Lots of people try to tell me that Celesting is garbage. I don't think it's utter garbage. I honestly think it's better than Valkyrie, but I'll put them in the same place. I think people generally view it as a B minus Loomian. So, if you want, there's what other people think. For some of you looking for, how good was this Loomian actually? Celesting in the OU metagame is B minus according to community viability rankings. That was a horrible impression. Jesus. I never thought Cephalon was an Uber. Never. A lot of people agree with me, but I'll put it there for now. In my heart, though, it's definite. If it was commonplace, I would be putting it in something like A+, though, or S. Because it is very good, but I don't think it's an Uber. I don't see why people think it's an Uber, though, so... I don't know. Where is base Cosmire? Every single one of these is cracked. Am I blind? No, all of these are cracked. Where is base Cosmire? Did I miss it? Base Cosmire? Any new viewers watching? That's just how I pronounce it, by the way. I guess I'll take my favorite color. Okay, I guess I'll just say where I put base Cosmire. Cosmire crack. Top of B. No, it's better. It's better. Well, I'm really moving it up. It's a very solid Loomian. It doesn't get used much, but it's solid. It's also not very easy to get. I put base Cosmire around B minus. Don't think it's good. I like how all the Cosmires are UUBL though, which is the borderline between too good for UU but not good enough for OU. I'll just take my favorite one. It's not the one I use, but it's my favorite color. It's not far for the. I think it might be worse, but it's more fun. So I'll put it here. Also, I know a lot of people love Cosmire, so I'll put it there. And Cosmire Unleashed. Dusket. No, not good. Not very good, but not horrible. I used to think it was utterly useless. Now I think it's more of a here. Somewhere around there. It's not totally awful like I used to think. Okay, LFH in its own right is a solid Loomian, so I'll put it somewhere. I'll put top of B. No, yeah, top of B's probably fine. Okay, next up, Phage Knot or something. Wait, where? Okay, there's Phage Knot. I know I skipped some stuff, but I just want to rank Phage Knot quickly, and I'm gonna put it. It's very strong, very good for sure. So I'll put in A. Of course, I always use Uzi. And Uzi's very, very good, but it's not very common for some reason. Gargoyle Attack. Like I said, this is probably my most controversial take by and large. Here. Not here. Here. Or heck, even lower if you want. Dice to priority. Can't handle icicle traps. We can easily live hits from it. It is so easy to handle. Base Gargoyle, I don't know where to put it. I guess here? I don't know. I don't know. Gargoyle defense has risen to OU recently, and it's a pretty solid Loomian. I'd say it's around Setimar's viability. Around. Here. Maybe a little higher. It's a good Loomian. It's good. It's reliable. It's not super stally either. It's just bulky. But it's not stall. It doesn't have poison. It's not gonna. It has barbs and driving force, but it's not stall. I like it. I think it's good. My viewers put you in A minus last time. Oh dear. Well, bad taste of the blood. You are going in a B plus. You should probably be lower, honestly, but I think it's okay. I think it's fine. Ikazune. Very good. Also, probably one of my worst matchups. Now, I accidentally dropped it. Where did I put Ikazune? There's a lot of chaos here. I don't know where I put basic Ikazune, so I think we're just gonna grab the other one. Of all of these, my favorite is probably Purple Bone or Green Bone. Ikazune is very strong, so not S, maybe A plus. Yeah, I think A plus is fair for it. I think that's a fair place to put Ikazune. Metronet, it's Ubers with Hypnotize. Without Hypnotize, so we're just gonna pretend to Hypnotize. Oh yeah, Cephalopus is Ubers because of Hypnotize, right? Okay, we're gonna rank these as in Hypnotize. No, without Hypno. Okay, so without Hypno, I think Cepha is an A plus, and Metro is probably an A minus. Honestly, I wish Hypnotize never made it to the game. Sleep was never fun. Not even Wolf Glick agrees. Mutagon. Mutagon is probably the only true Uber besides Sorrel. I don't know why Jamie thought that was a good idea. Swirl was not a good idea. Why did he have to add it? Nevermere. A lot of people have been trying to convince me Nevermere is higher than B. I, I mean by B I mean B plus, and I like Nevermere. I'll put it here, but I definitely think it's a little a little too inconsistent, which is unfortunate because again I like using it. Nimere, I think is it's got a good niche as an Obsidian counter, and it's got some utility. I think it's a solid Lumian. I think it's solid. Might be a little controversial and might be a little generous to Nimere, but I don't know. I think it's fine. Protagon is in contention for the worst roamer, which is hilarious. People used to put Protagon up here. In the current day, it's down here. Or heck, down here. I think Dusk gets worse though, personally. I don't think it's good. Waba. Waba's good. One of my least favorite Lumians, not because PvP is annoying. It is, but that's not why I hate it. I just hate design. It is hideous. But hey, it's good. So I'll put it at the bottom of A+. Maybe it should be lower, and I understand. So if you want, that's fine. And the final Lumian, Lumala. Probably the most controversial Lumian, and I can't figure out for the life of me why all you childish people think that it needs a train cap. It's a llama. The llama design is fine. Llama Train Studios does not need to give it a train hat. They can do what they want. Look at what you've done. I'm not saying the design with the train hat's bad, but you didn't need to force it, and just for that, F. Competitively, it's well, kind of bad. Here, did I miss anything? Cosmire, I guess. I guess I missed that. I think that's about it. Well, here's the ranking.